Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a child is flown to a hospital after reportedly being attacked by a pack of dogs in Whitley County. And the primary election is right around the corner here in Kentucky. We'll hear from officials about what you need to know when the big day arrives.
And keep the rain gear close this week as rounds of rain are likely. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A young Southern Kentucky boy is in the hospital after a pack of dogs attacked him. Some of those dogs have been caught since it happened this morning in the Rockholds community of Whitley County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked to local leaders about what happened.
4 dogs were rounded up Monday after a 2-year-old was attacked. It happened after a family went to a home on Johnny Hollow Road in Rockholds.
From what I can understand from the Sheriff's Department's interviews, there was a surprise visit to the house, and there had been a lot of dogs around the house.
The parents told the children to stay in the car, but the 2-year-old slipped out and was attacked.
I think the homeowner claims that they were just wild dogs, but I think he had been feeding them some, so they'd been coming back to that residence.
This did happen close to an elementary school, and at one time, school leaders were told to keep the kids inside, to keep them away from the playgrounds until the situation could be settled. Animal control officers were joined by emergency management, sheriff's deputies, and others who one by one found a total of 4 dogs, and there could possibly be others. The emergency management director was bitten as well. They believe they found the most aggressive one, which was a beagle mix.
I think in certain circumstances when dogs get aggressive together, there's a level of competition and it kind of builds on itself, and that may have been part of the circumstance today.
The boy was airlifted to a Tennessee hospital. His mother told police that he was in stable condition. Officials say they're looking for at least 1 more dog in connection to the attack. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The dogs were taken to an animal shelter for what is called bite hold, which is similar to quarantine. In Clark County, an investigation is underway after a child was bitten by a dog there. The animal shelter says it happened on Legacy Grove just before 9 yesterday morning. They say the dog owner was present, but no one was or has been able to identify or reach them. The shelter says the dog is described as a male large black pit bull breed. If you know anything about the dog, its owner, or this incident, call the Clark County Health Department or animal shelter. A man is accused of almost hitting a KSP trooper in Rockcastle County. Thomas Dees is charged with fleeing, resisting arrest, and wanton endangerment. His arrest citation shows a trooper tried to stop him earlier this month. The trooper says Dees had an active warrant. The citation says Dees took off in his car and almost hit the trooper. They later found the car abandoned. Troopers found Dees about a week later. A Madison County man is facing drug trafficking charges in Wayne County through an investigation by the Sheriff's Office. The man traveled there yesterday carrying illegal narcotics and a gun. During a traffic stop, police found the gun and those narcotics. Robert Newcomb admitted to being a convicted felon and having marijuana in the vehicle. After Newcomb was arrested, police found 3 bags of meth, 2 bags of marijuana, and other drug paraphernalia in the vehicle. Police in Pulaski County are asking for help finding a woman who they say was last seen in Somerset. Sarah Stevens or Alicia Jasper was last seen leaving her home at around 10:30 last night in the Winter Circle Drive area. Somerset PD says she is 4 feet 11 inches tall and weighs about 95 pounds. She has green eyes and reddish hair and was last seen wearing black clothing. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911. Fire crews in Southern Kentucky responded to a structure fire late last night. Just before midnight, the Monticello Fire Department in Wayne County was called to a storage building fire just off East Highway 92. They say the building was right next to a home. Crews were able to contain and extinguish the fire before it spread. No injuries were reported.
Well, Well, some stray sprinkles continue on this Monday evening up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. Most of the moisture right now in the Cumberland Valley, but this will continue pushing off to the north and east as we go into this evening. Nothing too heavy, but a few sprinkles are possible. Zooming into parts of Pulaski County, close to Corbin, for parts of Laurel County, into Whitley County, also close to Barberville. Over in Knox County at this hour, a few light sprinkles. A live look from our studio at WYMT overlooking portions of Hazard, and we are dry here in Perry County, but we are overcast. And that current temperature up to 70 here in Perry County. Most of us in the upper 60s to lower 70s, a little bit cooler close to Lake Cumberland thanks to those showers, down to 66 in Somerset, 67 for London, and up to 71 for Jackson. Also in Pikeville at this hour, most of us see lows this evening in the upper 50s to lower 60s. A few more stray sprinkles or a light shower is possible this evening. Not going to rain all night or everywhere, but some of you may see a few showers at times. Higher rain chances are looming by tomorrow, also by Wednesday. More details on those rain chances coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Doctors at the University of Kentucky are hoping to stop a surge of Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, from progressing. They are holding a free vaccine clinic this week. Dr. Nicholas Van Sickles with UK Healthcare says Mpox, formerly monkeypox, surged in 2022 and 23, and then there was a bit of a lull, but cases seem to be on the rise again. Mpox is an infectious disease that spreads through close contact. Dr. Van Sickles says what's most recognizable if someone has it is a rash.
In the beginning, you might get fevers or chills, or you might not. You might just get the rash, and you get these blisters that pop up in different areas of the body. They can spread or they can stay in that one area, and they can be really painful. They can leave scars. You have to isolate for quite a bit of time after you have it.
Dr. Van Sickles says in some cases, Mpox can be deadly. He says the cases they are seeing currently are in people who are unvaccinated or who have only gotten one dose of the 2-dose vaccine. With the Kentucky primary election being next Tuesday, officials across the Commonwealth are getting ready for the big day. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how they are preparing for the hiccups that sometimes come along with Election Day.
Next week, Kentuckians will be hitting the polls for the 2024 primary election. However, clerks' offices have already begun preparing for the day.
Getting everything loaded on the iPads, the rosters, getting all the machines ready to go.
Getting our polling places ready.
It's pretty simple, but you've got to go through the same routine you do every election.
Knott County Clerk Reese Cornett says while they do not expect the biggest crowd for primaries, they might have more voters for one topic in the county.
Well, where we got the wet dry vote, I think it'd be a little more than what we expected in this type of voting. Primary, a lot of people don't get out, and it's not a big ballot this time. So on the Democrat, but the Republicans get a little good-sized ballot. But I don't know. I expect at least 15-20% because of the absentee, because of the wet dry vote.
Letcher County Deputy Clerks Bethany Maggard and Angie Back say in cases of technical difficulties, they bring extra iPads for people to use.
We usually send a backup just in case something was to go down that's ready to go.
Cornett says in events of power outages, they have ways to work through them.
We're a lot more prepared. We have generators ready and flashlights, things like that. Before, you know, we have outages, but we have generators now that we can take to our poles. And then I've got emergency poles set up here in the courthouse.
Cornett says the most important thing to remember is
we open the polls at 6. And then as long as you're in line at 6 o'clock, we take our sheriff and he goes out and stands behind the one that last one. And then they all get to vote until they voted.
Ensuring everyone has the chance to vote. RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Cornett says they are doing early in-person voting until the end of this week. Now, if you requested a mail-in absentee ballot ahead of next Tuesday's primary, do not forget to return it. Those ballots must be received by your county clerk in person or in the mail by 6 p.m. on Election Day. And a reminder, if you requested an absentee ballot, you are not allowed to vote in person unless you did not receive your mail-in ballot. For everyone else, polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 21st. You can find your polling location at govote.ky.gov. A Martin County native will begin his new role as State Education Commissioner July 1st. Dr. Robbie Fletcher has been a teacher, principal, and for the last 10 years, superintendent of the Lawrence County school system. One hot topic in education will be decided by voters in November: if charter schools should be allowed to take state money.
Essentially, you're looking at taking public dollars and allow those to go to private institutions, maybe private schools or private entities that are going to put a school together. Personally, I'll walk into the booth and I'll vote against it. I'll vote no because I believe public funding should stay in public schools. And again, I have a lot of great friends that teach in private schools, and they do a great job. But on the other hand, when you're talking about public dollars, I feel like those need to stay in public schools.
Dr. Fletcher is my guest tonight on Issues and Answers at 7 p.m. here on WYMT.
We're tracking some more spotty sprinkles as we go into this evening, but higher rain chances are on the way. Your forecast coming up. Plus,
a few Eastern Kentucky educators are recognized for their excellence in teaching.